I'm Barrett with Guitar Tricks here. Today we're talking about the blues. We're going to get into 5 tips on how to get you on a roll with your blues practicing. We'll also get into the blues form. We're going to talk about rhythm and chords, how to put them together, and also some tips for soloing over the blues. Now, it goes without saying that you should be listening to as much blues as you can if you want to get into the blues. Old music, new music, there's a wealth of blues artists out there, and you can learn so much just by listening. Also, this includes going out and seeing live blues shows. There's nothing like the real thing. Now, if you want to learn what notes to use for blues soloing, head to guitartricks.com/good blues notes to learn blues licks, specific rhythms to use for blues, how to apply the blues scale to your solos, and much more. Okay, so let's get into it now. Tip number 1 is all about mastering the form. So we want to make sure that we get into the form of the blues. Now, there's lots of different forms. There's an 8-bar, there's a 12-bar, and there's a 16-bar blues, and all of them have their own variations. We want to spend the majority of time on the 12-bar blues. That's what most of the songs are using. And if you go to a jam, that's what everyone's playing for the most part. So we want to make that 12-bar blues second nature. Now, one thing I like to do is just practice playing the bass line only. So go over each 4 bars at a time and be comfortable with switching from the 1 to the 4 to the 5 in that form. Be like this in the key of E. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, to the 4 chord, which is A, back to the 1 chord, the 5 chord B, 4 chord, 1 chord, 5. So that's a really fun thing to do. And then from there, start to take it to a few different keys, some of the open keys. Try the key of A, the key of D, maybe even the key of G, and it'll start to really get in your ear. Okay, tip number 2 is practice chords before soloing. So I know we want to jump to shredding these blues licks, but it's really important to get the harmony in our ear. The sound of the blues is all in these chords, so make sure you're spending enough time with them. You also want to find shapes that work for you. So these open shapes are great. You know, if we're in the key of E, just these big old open shapes, that's the 1 chord. A7 is the 4 chord. B7 here. Now, if these are too hard at first, play smaller shapes. So this one's nice. This is middle index on the D, G, B, and E strings. You can add your pinky here to the 3rd fret of B. It's a nice E7. And then to the 4 chord, A7, you can leave your middle finger down, add your ring finger to the 2nd fret of B. Play those same 4 strings. That's a nice A7. And then B7, you can play this. You can stick to the middle 3 strings, the D, G, and B strings. Put your index on 1st fret of the D string and your ring on the 2nd fret of G. You get a little B7 shape there. It's really nice. Now from here, you can take these small shapes up the neck. So say we're playing the key of A, you can play this shape down here. Up here, you have to change your fingering a little bit. So I've got ring, middle, index on 7, 6, 5 of D, G, B. And then put that pinky there too. 8th fret of the B string. Nice A7. And then go to your D7, leave your ring down, slide the pinky down, bar the 5th fret. Sounds like a great D7 chord. And then for your 5 chord, your E7, you're gonna play this. So this is middle on 6th fret of D, ring on 7th fret of G, index on 5th fret of B. So it's like that B7, we just have that open string in there that we have to fret when we slide up. So practice that, and then from here, you want to start ornamenting these chords. So let's go back down here. If we have our E7, moving some fingers around, go to the A7. All those notes are very close by. Find out which ones sound good to you. Experiment a little bit. Okay, now if you're enjoying this lesson, please go ahead and subscribe. Tap that notification bell. While you're at it, give this video a like. It really helps the channel out. So tip number 3 is training your rhythm. So this means practicing simple rhythms over the blues form. So whole notes, half notes, maybe quarter notes, like this. Let's try some half notes here over E blues. We'll go a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, the 4 chord, maybe some quarter notes, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, whole notes, a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter notes, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's a great place to start. Next thing, you'll want to start to become very familiar with the shuffle feel, the blues shuffle feel. So this requires getting to know triplets a little bit. It's also called a triplet feel. So that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a really heavy swing. And the way it works is each downbeat, each strong beat has 3 subdivided beats, equal ones. You could count it like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And the way the shuffle works is it falls on the strong beats, the downbeats, and the So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm going down on the strong beats, up on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now when you add in some palm muting, some staccato feel, you get a great mixture here. The other thing I like to do is just pretend like I'm a drummer. So that requires using the lower bass strings, kind of like a kick drum, and the treble strings, kind of like a snare or hi-hats, sound like this a little bit. Maybe some fills. Just as long as you've got that feel and you've practiced these rhythms, you can really start to get into it. Okay, tip number 4 is about soloing and finding the sweet spot. So most of the time, all the good notes are really close by. So this is where we start to get into talking about the BB box, the BB King box, the spot on the neck that he was most familiar with and known for playing. So let's take it like this. If we're in the key of E, let's find these notes. We're going to go up to the 5th fret of the B string with our index finger. That's an E note. This is like the root of the key. Now the BB box has these notes in it. It's got the root, it's got a 2nd, which is on the 7th fret, a flat 3rd. So those 3 notes alone are great. Now on the G string, it's got a major 6. This is where you get a lot of that major color out of it. So it's gonna be 6th fret. On the G string, you can use your middle finger. So with all these notes, and then on the high E string, we've got the 5th fret and the 7th fret. Now with all these, you get so much blues tonality. Now, when you start bending or sliding into it, also, I like to play the flat 7, which can be found right above that major 6, which is here 7th fret of the G string. So Lots of great stuff there. So a few other things you can try is the minor pentatonic. Stick to 1 octave. A great place to try that is open position. So starting on the D string, that's going to be 2nd fret. It's going to be open G, 2nd fret of G, open B, 3rd fret, open high E, 3rd fret. And that's all going to work over this sort of dominant major blues sound. And then the other thing is the blues scale. The blues scale is the same as the minor pentatonic. It's just adding a blues note. So on the 2nd fret of the G string, if we go up 1 fret, that's that blues note. Great stuff there. Now when you combine these things, BB box, minor pentatonic, blues scale, you get a lot of options. Maybe a few line cliches. So that's one where we have 5th fret of the B string. We're playing the open E. It's the same note. We go down 2 frets on the B string, 1 fret, 1 more, and then open. And it's a great blues line. Okay, so far, what's your favorite spot on the neck to solo over for the blues? Leave us a comment and let us know. Okay, tip number 5 is to play a lot. Make sure you're playing a lot of blues over and over. It's all about repetition and muscle memory, getting the harmony in your ear. Just doing over and over again. So one thing you can do is play along to recordings. This is huge. Start transcribing. This means finding one of your favorite songs, see if you can figure out the key, and then pick out a few licks, just 1 or 2, and see if you can learn them by ear. This is huge. You can also loop yourself playing with a loop pedal, get the 12-bar form recorded, loop it, and play little solos over it. You can also find jam tracks. And then the last thing to do that is huge is find a buddy, play with your friends, play some blues at a jam session, go to a jam. You won't regret it. You'll get so much experience this way. All right, thanks for watching today. Now go get to listening, watching, practicing, and playing the blues. And we'll see you later.